Fast defense, okay, wasn't created by me. Fast defense it stands for fear, adrenaline, stress training. And it was created by a guy named Bill Kipp. And the reason why he created this was that he was an avid martial artist, kind of like myself. And many years ago, he had a black belt student who was a female, and she got assaulted. And she was very skilled. And he didn't know why somebody so skilled would be able to be assaulted the way she was. And so that put him into the mode of, checking out and trying to figure out why that happened. And what he found was a lot of people under adrenaline stress freeze. Okay, so the whole idea of his system of teaching self-defense is to create mild stress in people and then work them through the self-defense and so that they can be successful, and it will work when you get into a really violent or bad situation. Now, his definition of self-defense is the appropriate response for the appropriate situation. What our system of teaching is based on is the ABCs of defense. So the first thing we work on is awareness skills. The second thing is setting boundaries. And then the third part is the confrontation, which usually starts with some kind of verbal aspect to it, where you can try to de-escalate that. And then if that doesn't work, you have more of the combative part, which is why I brought my suit. Usually when we do this, I'm not going to do this today, but I usually wear full body armor, and we go through at the end of our seminars, we usually go through training where you actually get to hit me in the suit. Okay, so I want to start. Do you guys want to do something a little interactive today?
Sure.
Okay, so let's have everybody just stand up for a second, and I want you to grab another person. A friend. Okay. Now, if we could, it's going to take, this might be a little difficult, but maybe if we could have two people in a line here, like facing your partner. So boom, boom, you're like that, and face each other, and then spread out a little bit. Okay? And you'll see why. Okay, this is a basic awareness. Yeah, you can do it over there or on the side, that's okay. And then if you guys can kind of give yourself a little space, okay, as much as we have. Sorry, we usually have more room for this. Okay, now, what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you a little bit about awareness and distancing. So what you're going to do is we're going to have one side. I'm going to say kind of like this side right here, okay? You're going to walk up to this side and act like you're a good friend and, greet somebody as if you're a good friend. I'm going to say freeze, and when I say freeze, stop where you're at, all right? So go ahead, greet your friends. And freeze! Okay, now where you're at, go where you feel a little bit comfortable with this friend. So if you feel like you're too close, you can move back, okay? But if you guys stick your hand out, okay, you're probably about 1 arm length away. A half arm length, 1 arm length away. This is the normal distance that we would call your friendship distance. Okay, is 1 arm away. Now, let's have everybody kind of separate again. Now we're going to do another scenario where you're going to walk up and act like you're like somebody from UPS coming up and handing a package to somebody. Kind of like a work type environment. So let's have you guys go ahead, give them your package. And freeze! Okay, now if you put your hand out, okay, you're about probably 1.5 arms to 2 arm lengths away. Okay, this is the distance that somebody you don't know, you want to keep them outside of that range. Okay? It's a good rule because when things happen that are bad things happen, you have always heard nose to nose. The distance closes. So what your job to defend yourself is to control that distance. Now, the people who just walked in, I want you to take one direct step in, no going to the side or anything like that, at your partner and get in close. Go ahead. So you're going to step in. Stand right there. Hey, hold it. Okay, you guys, does that feel uncomfortable? Extremely. Okay, good. Because, okay, still hold. Now, I want you to think about where you feel uncomfortable at. Do you feel it in your stomach? Some people feel it in their chest. Some people feel it in their throat, right? Okay, so figure out which one, because this is very important. Because this is something that we were born with called intuition. And it's telling you that something is wrong. Now, a lot of times in society, especially with women, we don't explain to them. We try to tell them to kind of disregard that feeling. What I'm trying to tell you here is that that feeling is there for a reason, and you should pay attention to it because it is telling you that you are in a situation. Now, later on, I'm going to teach you how to use this and what to do at certain parts. Oh, you guys can separate a little bit. Okay, great. Okay, guys. So you guys can sit down because I'm going to bring you to my alter ego. And I bring my wife in. So Esther's going to be down there. And so now what we're going to go into, okay, now that we talked about boundaries, okay, is our system is based on 3 parts. Okay, passive, you're either being passive, you're either being assertive or aggressive. Passive people tend to get walked all over. Aggressive people tend to start fights. So what we're trying to do, what we want to teach you is how to be in the assertive zone. So I'm going to be my alter ego, I call Bubba. Okay? Bubba's in a bar. Oh, my glasses are low. Can't see. Bubba can't see. All right. So I'm in the bar. I see Esther across the bar. I just happen to be a coworker of hers. And I'm going to get a good, a little drink, and I get a little liquid courage, and I'm going to go over and try to give her a hug. Okay, so how many of you guys have had somebody hug you that you didn't want to hug you? Okay, why did you do it?
Politeness. Yeah.
Politeness? Why else?
Caught me by surprise. Yeah.
Caught you by surprise. Anything else? Obligation. You feel like you're going to hurt their feelings. Obligation. So there's a lot of reasons why we allow somebody to do that to us. What I'm giving you permission is you're in control of yourself. So if that's not something you want, I'm giving you permission not to allow it to happen. But here's how it does happen. So this is going to be the passive communication. So Esther, I'm going to come up to her and I'm going to try to give her a hug, and she's going to show passive communication. Now, what I always want you guys to do is I'm going to ask you, there's going to be a quiz. You're going to tell me what makes her look passive. All right, so Bubba takes his liquid courage. Hey, Esther, you look wonderful tonight. How are you doing?
Hi, Bubba. How are you?
Great. What are you doing? Hey, it's really nice to meet you. Hey, give me a big hug. Okay, freeze, Esther. Oh, freeze. Okay, a little bit more. Okay, there you go. All right, so Esther doesn't like the passive. All right, so if somebody's showing passive communication, what are the things that they do?
Turn away.
Okay, wait, let's have one at a time. Raise your hand so I can get everyone. Okay.
They turn away from you.
Okay, they start to turn away. Okay, what did you say?
She was backing up.
She was backing up. Happy feet. We call it happy feet.
I'm looking down.
Looking down. Okay.
I was going to say looking down.
Go ahead.
Pulling in.
Pulling in. Okay. It visually looks like she gets smaller, right? So a lot of things happen. They avert their eyes. They'll turn to the side. A narrow stance. Okay. A lot of times hands are in and crossed. Okay. Not good posture. Heads down. Okay. These are the things that a predator looks for. If you ever think about a lion in the woods, or not in the woods, in the savannah, okay, they look for the easiest target, the weakest target. And it's known that predators do the same thing. In fact, there's a research they did where they took really violent criminals. And all they did was they showed 10 women walk down a hall on a video surveillance camera, and all the very violent criminals could pick out of all 10 the one person that has been repeatedly assaulted just by the way she walked. right, just by the way she walked. And I've watched the video and I couldn't tell which one it was until they told me. That's how keyed in they are to that kind of communication. All right, so the next one is, now we're going to do the aggressive. Okay, Esther likes the aggressive a little better. Okay, so let's see how Bubba fares this time. Bubba's going to get his drink. Then he's going to walk over there and see if he can get a hug. All right, I want you again to watch her communication, and we're going to quiz you on it later. So Bubba takes his drink. Hey, Esther, good to see you. What? Why are you rolling your eyes?
Just go back.
Come on, what?
You smell like beer.
No, you're being a bitch.
Just get out.
No, you're just being a bitch. Hey,
out.
come here. Okay. All right. We don't talk like this at home. Okay. But, so, aggressive communication. What did she do?
Her hand came out.
Okay, her hand came up, but what was she doing? Yeah, it was a pointing. Okay. I said something about her eyes. What did she do with her eyes? She rolled her eyes. That's the international sign for contempt, right?
Her voice was stronger.
Her voice was stronger.
She approached you immediately. She counteracted you immediately. I guess
She walked forward, right? She walked forward. She didn't stand her ground. She didn't walk back, but she actually came forward. Okay, so aggressive communication. Usually you'll see a bigger stance. You know, the finger pointing, the glaring eyes. All right, you know, the way they talk to you, it sounds like kind of insulting. These are all things that are aggressive communication. But it might have worked from keeping her from me giving her a hug. But what did she get instead? Yeah, you get hit then. So we don't want to use aggressive communication because we don't want to provoke a situation. So now we're going to do the final one. And the final one is assertive communication. Okay, so now I want you guys to observe, and you know, we're going to talk about what assertive communication is like. Bubba gets his drink. I should just go back there and have some wine. Hey, Esther, I haven't seen you in a while. How you doing?
How are you?
Great, I'm doing awesome. Hey, give me a hug.
No. Well, you know what? The guys are calling you.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
another
Give me a
beer.
call. Okay. All right. All right. Give Esther a hand. I'm used to being in front of people, so. So what did Esther do in the assertive communication?
She redirected.
She redirected. Was she rude to me?
No.
Did she roll her eyes? Yeah.
She said your name.
She said my name because I said I was co-worker. She knew who I was. So she was actually quite nice. What she did also realize is that I probably had some friends in the bar that I had to save face with. So she kind of, you know, made it seem like, oh, well, you know, I'm not accepting this, but at the same time, I don't have to be rude about it. So when you have assertive communication, you know, you still have the stance. She didn't come forward at me. She didn't get the happy feet. Okay, she just stood her ground and talked politely to me and then redirected me. All right, so that is the basis. So now the next step is I'm going to teach you a little bit, and this is when you guys get involved again. So now we're gonna talk about adrenaline stress. Okay, adrenaline stress first. When you get adrenalized, we know certain things happen. Okay, you probably realized when you came up and talked what adrenaline does to you. Lips get dry. You know, we have auditory time stands still, gets slower. It seems like you know, you can't express yourself correctly. Because when we get into stress, we go into what's called our frog brain, okay, and our logical brain doesn't work anymore. So what we're going to try to do is help train you to have an appropriate response when that happens, because most people, we have kind of a record player going. So when we get in a situation, we automatically go to that passive, or we go to that aggressive or assertive. So what our training does is we try to put you under stress and then retrain the assertive communication so that when a situation happens, when you do it enough, that's what's going to come out for you. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into what I call the color code of awareness. So let's have everybody stand up. Let's go first into our stances. Okay. So you may need just a slight bit of room here. So the color codes, white. Okay. We're not going to talk about white. White's like when you're hanging out on your couch and there's no chance of anything happening to you. So we're going to go right to yellow. Yellow is the mode of awareness you should always have whenever you're outside outside of your house, at work, and things like that. Now, we usually in our we call it the yellow alert stance is usually a little 1 foot in front. Okay. You have your hands right here, which means they're ready, okay, for something to happen, okay, and you just would be standing here like this. Now, the next stance, and the next stance is the orange level. Now, how do you know when you go from yellow to orange? Remember that intuition we talked about? That creepy feeling that you can get? Okay, when you get that creepy feeling, then that's when you automatically go to what we call the orange alert stance. Orange alert stance, your stance is a little stronger. Hands are out like this, like 2 stop signs, to make sure that you keep the proper distance. Okay, now we're going to go over the verbal part now. So what do you say when something happens? We usually say, back off, leave now. And what you want to do is you're going to try to match the level of what you say with the level of threat. So if somebody comes up to you, and we're going to show some scenarios of this in a little bit, you would just be like, back off, leave now. All right, so let's have everybody go into that stance. And we're going to all do it together. Here we go. Ready? Go. Back off, leave now. Good. And that's an excellent job. Give yourself some energy. Okay. So that's the beginning of it. Now, the reason why you do the verbal, there's a few reasons why. First off is you're doing a verbal assertive communication to your predator. The second is it's getting your adrenaline level up to about equal with the person that's in front of you. Because what happens with passive people is the energy level's up here, the passive person's right down here. And then what is the aggressive person? They're the opposite. They just overreact. So the next level is red alert. Red alert is just before somebody actually attacks you. This is when you have to get a little bit more aggressive. So you're going to be in a bigger stance, hands out, and then you're going to get louder. Back off! Leave now! Okay, go.
Back off! Leave now!
Good. All right, give yourself some energy. Okay. Now, this is what, first off is when we do this, I call it the broken record. In other words, when you get to this point, there's no more conversation. You're not trying to negotiate your way out. You're trying to tell the predator exactly what you want them to do. Back off, leave now. And you will just keep on saying that until they leave or until maybe they actually try to grab you or something like that. And that's when we go into the scenarios where we do the combat scenarios. Okay. The second thing is you have to have what I call the bad dog voice. Okay, if you guys have a dog. I have 3 pugs, by the way. That should have been our bio that we really enjoy. Okay, but you have to have the bad dog voice. So when you are reprimanding your dog, you don't go, bad dog, because the dog's going to be waiting for a treat, right? So you would normally go, bad dog, like that. Bad dog. And that's going to have more of an impact. You don't want to get up here high like, bad dog, like that. All right, so let's have everybody bring your hands out. Good, and let's hear it. Ready? Go!
Back off! Leave now!
Good, back off. You wouldn't say leave me alone, right?
I said bad dog.
Oh, bad dog. Okay. Hey, if it makes them leave, it works. If you make it leave, it works. Okay. Good. All right, guys, great. Give yourself some energy. Okay. So now I'm gonna be coming at you guys, and I'm just gonna say something like, "Hey, get in my car." Okay, you're gonna go back off, leave now. I'm going to get louder. Everybody's going to get louder, and I'm going to get louder. And you guys are going to get louder. All right, so let's try it. This is unfair advantage here. One of me and what, 20, 30 of you. All right, so here we go. Get in my car.
Back off! Leave now!
Get in my car.
Back off! Leave now!
Oh, get in my car.
Back off! Leave now!
All right, give yourself some energy. Okay. Now, did you feel that adrenaline, though? Did you feel that? Okay. All right, guys, so you guys can have a seat. Now, I'm going to show you one more thing. Normally, we do have one of our full self-defense classes, so if you guys are interested, it's going to be on May 19th at my karate school. It's 2.5 hours. From here, we would normally go into where you would come up, and I'd actually do individual scenarios with you. Okay, individual scenarios, and you would do the back off, leave me alone. And then we go into kind of combat situations where I wear this, I make you close your eyes, I grab you, and then you get to beat me and, you know, hit me in the eyes and kick me in the groin. But today I want to go over something that's really important, and I'm going to have my wife demonstrate, not yet, but I want to explain the best way in a combat situation, okay? The back off, leave me alone should work at least 80 to 90% of the time because you're showing the person that you're not a victim. But there is still that 10%. And the 10%, your best thing in that situation is to have a weapon. All right? Now, you guys go, well, I don't carry a gun or a knife with me. No, I'm not talking about that. Something on you, most of you people, okay, I was just going to ask. So what would you use for a weapon?
If I had this, I would use the water bottle.
Water bottle. Okay, what else? What are some other things you might be able to find in your phone? I heard keys.
Purse.
A purse. I was waiting for that. I mean, I look at some of your purses. I know I won't be one to be whacked by them. Okay. Anything else?
Pepper spray.
High heels. Yeah. Actually, fast defense. We do also kids bully defense and abduction safety, and one kid actually saved himself with his shoe. He started beating the guy with his shoe. So I would think that would work for you guys too if it worked for a younger kid. Anything else? Pepper spray. Okay.
Edge of a book.
Edge of the book. Yeah. A stick, you can find it, you know, even a stick or something like that. There's many things that you guys can use as weapons. And they have a great advantage because they have a lot more reach. You don't have to get as close. And so they're very effective to use. All right, so now, somebody said pepper spray. I just wanted to mention, when you're doing the verbal scenarios, you have the pepper spray in your hand. Okay, you can give them the verbal back off, leave me alone. You know, you don't just have to pull it out and do it right away. You can use our verbal scenario, and then you have the pepper spray as backup or the weapon. So my wife, she's going to get the weapon. I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to do this without, Bubba without, or with the gear on. I think she's going to hit me pretty hard. So. I'm going to put the helmet on. Okay, so verbal scenario. Oh, wait a minute, my glasses are in there. So Esther's going to be down there. And we're going to go over this slowly. I'm going to just, here, give yourself some room, huh? Forward. I don't want you to hit the,
Okay.
and not too close to those lights. Okay. All right, so I'm going to do a verbal scenario. Hey, what are you doing? Oh, come on, you're going to come with me. And she's going to put her hands up, start telling me to back off. I'm going to come over and grab her. Now she's going to use her weapon. We're going to pretend that this is a purse. She's going to start whacking my hand, okay, but when she whacks, she's going to come right over the top, like this. It's better to go over the top, because she's going to hit my arm, ow, ow, then she starts hitting me in the head, and then I'm going to walk away, and the scenario's over. Normally, Esther would be the coach standing next to you, giving you directions in your ear, like that little angel on your shoulder, okay, and she would blow a whistle when the scenario's over. So let's try this. I didn't realize the ceiling was so low, so be careful. Hey, baby, what's going on?
You need to back away.
Hey, you're pretty hot. Come on.
Leave now.
No, I want you to come
Leave
on.
now.
Come on, Garrett, Garrett.
Leave now.
Oh, no, okay. And give her a hand. She couldn't hit me as hard as she wanted because of the ceiling. Okay. All right, guys. So, what'd you think? That's basically what fast defense is all about. Very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. The most important part is to make it so that you're not the victim. Okay. And the way to do that is to have assertive communication in everything you do. The more assertive you present yourself, the less likely you even have the attack start to begin with. And if you do get in a situation, just remember, get into the right stance. Okay, use your voice as your weapon. Okay, you can project your voice. There's a lot of power in your voice that can save you in most situations. All right, guys, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight.
Thank you.